I'm going to tell you about the day I got saved, but to tell the rest of that story, I got to go back 10 years. It's almost 54 years ago, I got married, and I'm still married to the same woman. That's a miracle. And so we were getting married in Long Island, New York. We lived in Seattle, so a long way to go to get married, but my in-laws lived back there. And most importantly, my mother-in-law lived back there, and she was a devout Catholic. And so she's orchestrating the wedding. And I needed a best man, and all my friends were in Seattle. So I reached out to a friend of mine, Tom, who I grew up with, knew him since the 5th grade, who was going to Brown University, and he agreed to come down from Brown University to Long Island and be my best man and hang out with me. We're getting ready to do this wedding, and my mother-in-law wanted the Monsignor, who was about 180 years old, to officiate, and he wasn't available, so we got stuck with Father McGeever. He was a jovial priest. I really liked the guy, and it was good that we had him as our priest for our wedding. And Father McGeever married us, and before the night was out, we got on a plane to fly back to Seattle, and my friend Tom was supposed to get in his little VW bug and drive back to Rhode Island, but instead Father McGeever says, "You stick around, we're going to talk tomorrow." So Tom went in and talked with Father McGeever, and long story short, Tom was raised Catholic, but he was having real doubts about his salvation, and it was very troubling to him. So he had a long talk with Father McGeever, and basically Father McGeever said, "Well, you did good in following all the rites of your Catholic upbringing, but that's not good enough. You have to turn your life over to Jesus." And so my friend, at the behest and direction of Father McGeever, did so, and he got saved the day after my wedding. I didn't know this at the time. I knew nothing about this. So fast forward 10 years, and Tom ended up working on the East Coast for 10 years and finishing up his school and working back there. And then he came back here and got a job with Battelle here locally, and so he came back into my life. Now, about the time he came back into my life, I was spiritually messed up. So he comes back into my life at this point in time, and I wouldn't share what was going on with me with just anybody. But with Tom, I was okay to kind of unburden myself with him. So we talked, and I explained to him what was going on, and then he told me his story, that how he got saved, and he shared with me what happened to him 10 years ago back there with that Catholic priest that led him to a salvation experience, and basically said, "You want to do the same thing?" And I said, "Well, sure." And so he told me his story, and he led me in to the same experience. So I physically got down on my knees, and he's a pretty hard-nosed Christian at this point in his life. He said, "You got to surrender. You got to give it up." And I don't like to give up real easy, but I did. I gave it up. I turned it over, and I said, "Do whatever you want with me." Immediately after I said those prayers and gave it up, is I got filled with the Holy Spirit. The only analogy I can come up with is like if somebody had poured syrup all over your head and just ran down all over your body, and it was spiritually kind of like that, just invaded my whole being, and I knew he was, the doubts got erased. Any doubts I had about whether Jesus graduated from the tomb to the throne room in heaven, they all got erased. I knew where he was. I knew he was there. I knew I had connected with a being that could do what he said he could do.